What is going on, guys? It's Jeff from Crunch Time Sports here to give you an update on Za'Darius Smith. It's the update that everyone is asking about and wondering about because Dan Campbell went on 97.1 The Ticket, spoke with Jim Costa and John Jansen, had his interview, and I'm going to play a clip from the interview, him speaking about re-signing Za'Darius Smith, and hopefully it gives Lions fans much-needed clarity on whether or not Za'Darius Smith will be a Detroit Lion for this season. I thought it was very interesting. So take a listen to this clip, and then I'll give my thoughts to it after. Again, credit to 97.1 The Ticket. Let's take a listen.
Brad Holmes gets asked about the edge position a lot, and we asked you about the edge last year around the deadline. You add Za'Darius Smith, and it looked like he gave you guys a boost. What's the best explanation for why you guys didn't bring him back for this season?
What's the best explanation?
The reasoning or the rationale or why you guys came to that conclusion.
Well, we're good right now. I mean, we're pretty good here. We got Davenport. We got good depth. I like what we got interior, too. We got a lot of flexibility, and we're sitting pretty good right now. So we're ready to go, man.
Fair enough.
We've heard a lot of
All right. So Dan, I mean, full transparency, he shut that down. Shut it down. Now, whether or not you like the response is a different conversation, but the fact is he shut that down. My opinion, I hate it. I hate it. I really do. I want Za'Darius to be a Lion, and my reasoning has always been consistent, right? Like Davenport is not a player you can rely on, and it actually surprises me that Dan and Brad don't feel the same way. I don't know. I don't know what they're seeing. Not that I'm questioning their football IQ or, their experience in the league, but the old saying stands true. The best ability is availability, and Mark Davenport's actually the complete opposite of available. And it's nothing to do with his skill set or his capabilities or his ability besides staying healthy. He's actually not a bad player. He just never stays healthy. And if you're banking on him to stay healthy, you are going against history. I interrupted the video to tell you about our newest sponsor, Sleeper Picks, which, by the way, for Lions Packers, you can participate in Sleeper Picks. All you got to do is choose 2 to 8 of your favorite players from pregame, live, or even across different sports. All you got to do is pick more or less than the predicted stats on Sleeper, and you can win money. Share with your friends and get rewarded together. Use the code CT Sports to participate. You could tail my picks. I decided to go more for David Montgomery, 0.5 touchdowns, more Romeo Doubs for his receiving yards, more for Jake Bates, total points, and more for Jack Campbell on his assisted tackles. I think all those things happen. You could tail my picks and have a chance to win some money. Remember, always gamble responsibly. You're going against factual history. It's like trying to convince someone that something's going to happen when it's never happened. People would call you crazy. It's like me saying, I can dunk, and I've never dunked before. It's like, well, Jeff, I've never seen it, so how can I trust your opinion that you can dunk? And I'd say, you know what? You're probably right. I can't dunk. Now, if I work at it, maybe I can do it, but it's going to take a long time. And based on history, I can't dunk. So there's no reason for me to try and convince you that. And I know that's a terrible analogy, but you get my point. I don't know what Dan and Brad are seeing in Mark Davenport that suggests even remotely close to he'll stay healthy. Like, even if he survives most of the regular season, how do you know he'll make it through the playoffs? We're not talking about 17 games, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about 20 games. That's what we're talking about, potentially. And based on history, that has not been the case. So I'd be lying if I told you guys it didn't frustrate me. It does. It does frustrate me that Za'Darius Smith isn't a Detroit Lion. It does. Because at least you have flexibility. He mentioned flexibility. You'd have a lot of flexibility with Za'Darius Smith. A lot. Because it would take pressure off Davenport. Davenport can play in spots. Za'Darius can play in spots. They'd keep each other fresh. They keep each other healthy. It would be good for the defensive line. Keep those guys fresh. AQM to me is a good depth piece. But if Davenport gets hurt and AQM's your starting edge, he's not a bad player, but it's not an ideal situation. It's not. It just isn't. And I think it stings even more that not that the Micah Parsons was a realistic option, but the fact that the Packers have Rashawn Gary, Micah Parsons. And the Lions have Aiden Hutchinson, who's incredible. And maybe because Aiden is so good, they I guess don't really care as much about the DN too. It's like, who cares? But at the same time, it's like, hey, don't you want to help him out? Don't you want to help Darren Arnold out? Don't you want to help some of these secondary guys out? just by getting more pressure. And Za'Darius isn't a world beater, but he can certainly help in that metric. So I don't know what to think of this. I don't. It's frustrating. And I think this suggests to me, guys, Za'Darius Smith, that narrative, end it. It's over. Stop talking about it. It's done. He's not coming back to the Detroit Lions because Dad and Brad are tied at the hip. So if Dan is saying something like this, what do you think Brad thinks? The same exact thing. They both feel the same way. They both think the Lions are good at edge. That's how they feel. And until we get into the thick of it and get into the season and get a handful of games into the season, we won't know who's right or wrong. I have a good feeling who will be right. It's probably the people. It's probably the fans that think that Davenport won't stay healthy. But we really won't know. Maybe Davenport does stay healthy. Maybe there's a one-off. Maybe he is the exception. Maybe it happens. Maybe I just jump up and dunk a basketball. Who knows? But the reality is it's not likely based on history. It's just not going to happen. So it is upsetting. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to know them because it is a little mind-boggling. I don't know. And if it is money or its length or terms, maybe Za'Darius wants like a 2-3 year deal, then I would understand. And that's the part I can't really speak on because I don't know the negotiation process. And I'll be very transparent and pretty vulnerable and be like, hey guys, I'll admit, I don't know the money. I don't know the terms. Maybe that's a deciding factor. But if we're just talking at face value, bringing him back, that should be a priority. No question. You don't want him to go to an NFC rival. I will tell you that. You don't. Not that, again, he's a world beater, but he helps any team he's a part of because he's not a bad player. He's not. He's not Aiden Hutchinson, but he's a guy who had 10 sacks last year. It's pretty good, I would say. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. We'll be live tonight, 8 to 10 p.m. to talk with the DOC, the Doc, John Macroon, about this whole situation. But until then, I will catch you guys. Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, FisherCTSports.com.